Talking.
Can you use your trouser for that? That's nothing you're doing. You are trying to keep it in your front. Yeah, I'm doing that. I think the sound is okay. As this battery is getting weak, there's even more backgrounds.
Good evening and welcome to this weekend's edition of Undaunted Weekly Recap. Well, our focus for tonight is the IG's defense briefing. I am Star Smart. Let's begin.
Well, this week was an emotional one for all of us here on Undaunted. Started by recounting the Ngabo massacre after 3 years. Also, the report on the Ekona women's protest. Yes, they got the youth released at the end, but imagine the trauma they had to go through. Well, this week we also had the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia in the studio as well, and he analyzed some reports from the interim government's perspective.
Well, just in case you missed out on the news of the week, we have a recap coming to you right after the break.
The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with Undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Amazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amber TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amber TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambertv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
All right, you're welcome back. Reports that reached Undaunted from Ngokentuja and Buyi counties during the week said Amazonian freedom fighters performed a good and clean job on the night of Sunday breaking Monday, February 13, 2023, at the BBC Square between the joint forces from BBC local government area and the Malian forces of Buyi County against the BS terrorist gendarmes. While Undaunted gathered that the gendarmes were with their commander, who is probably among the victims put down by these valiant forces led by the General of Zakwe and Commander Bruce of BBC.
Now, also the 2023 February 11 celebrations in the entire Amazonia experienced a very poor turnout, and this is a result of the lockdown declared by the interim government in an attempt to prove the contrary to the central coordination of the BS regime in Yaoundé. Colonial administrators and in-house slaves in southern Cameroon did all they could to defend their slave money in the name of salary. Some even took images 2 days to the day to use them as justification that the 11th February day in their areas were successful, like the case of Tobin in Kumbo, Buyi County. But the question we wondered is, while our Republic du Cameroon is interested about the 11th February being celebrated, why intimidate coerce people to go into celebrating a day they do not consider theirs?
Well, in another related development to that, we gave you some reports from Mayu County. Undaunted gathered that some elderly people were forced and coerced as youth to celebrate their youth day. Pictures being that will be displayed shows that these are the youths of Mayu marching to justify the existence of a fake and fraudulent day called Youth Day. But when you look closely at the pictures, you'll find out that these individuals are all immigrants without visa from neighboring La Republic du Cameroon. Well, the question is, why are they turning their backs on these colonizers and French La Republic du Cameroon? But why intimidate, manipulate people to celebrate what they consider as fraudulent?
Also, this week, we brought to your notice how important it is that the interim government distances herself from the bloodbath against civilians in Chico local government area. But before we even delve into that, we have to see a video shootage by Capo Daniels. This week, we brought that video to you, and he was talking about a lot as concerns the Mamundi case, but the shocking video that couldn't lay any hands on the objective of the falsehood. The AGFC spokesperson and head of the terrorist La République du Cameroun militia, ADF, plays the same card over and over again, but then it is quite paradoxical.
Well, the colonies Mama meant demobilization and rehabilitation centers created in Bamenda and Boyer are now nursing grounds for those used as by the neighboring La Republic to Cameroon military to combat Amazonia's restoration fighters. Well, the reason made known to the world by La Republic to Cameroon is to accommodate combatants who have willfully dropped their weapons. That these centers were to give them holistic treatment and in the end reintegrate them into society. Those were just superficial reasons. Now, the hidden agenda of these centers was to use those who integrate these centers to fight their peers, still with arms. Now, this is the more reason why La Republic de Cameroon is not opting for any other means to resolve the crisis than the military option. We have a video that shows this particular one, and that video also responds to what Capo Daniel said, which we were supposed to play. Let's see that video again. Even me, I was confused that I didn't answer.
I was thinking this is Capo Daniels, but
No,
it's
this is
for
not
this paper.
Capo Daniel. We just inscribed it. So this one was to rebuke what Capo Daniel
Said.
Oh,
Ikin, my people, the Fotiko, Likumba, and Mutengene. I don't see the videos them until the way don't happen for una this particular time, and my heart's they una, and you see as I wear black, the thing they pain me very badly. They pain me so much, and I know I be shocked. Say if you see human being go take gun, he go open up, he shoot population, he kill them. And now people the way they try for talk, they be supposed to protect we and things like that. That's all the Republic of Cameroon soldiers and they now they have exact way that way they operate. My mommy and my pa own are there for cottage hospital right now, and all on about Tico and Tico Douala Road. We know we don't agree. Say yes, not true. Say Ambazonian fighters them. And the whole Ambazonia, you don't want to say me CDC open on independence. Not true. But La Republic of Cameroon go use this one as an opportunity to come make sure say they use this law to commit this crime there, so that it will be easily for be tapped on Ambazonians their head, so that they will gain sympathy from the Ambazonian population. Or they want to continue for this enslave them, and they will gain sympathy from the international community. so that they will borrow money, they go construct CDC or they go do whatever they want to do today, and they show the world say everything will come back to normal. My mommy, my pa, I can't beg you say this particular act where they don't do and so. Now the Republic to Cameroon soldier, now they are work that, and they get more act than for do them in the days ahead. Una get to be careful. Any man where they hear my voice for Fako now, una get to be careful because this act where they do and so you know go end only for Fako. La Republic military, he get plenty this kind of act them for do am for kill our people them because they talk say na amba do am. Don't forget say those boys them for DT are the center. Now they are work that way they do am. Now one of the reasons on that why way the Nambere run. Nambere be run now because they be want to see me continue to do that kind of thing. He deny, he run. Yes, I go tell you now. You see Nasari Clovis, that boy where he talk for DTR boy them and all the other one them. Now them the work I do this exact work them. And some of those who are brother the way they inside that Republic to Cameroon military where they talk this will talk with me and you will talk and so this pigeon where will talk am. Now their mission that way they get them where they do am for a land for harm our people them and for make sure say they make our people they right against our struggle. My mommy, my pa, and and get laws the way they don't put them. Yes. Some of these laws then we understand say it get constraints. We know say it get some loopholes them and other things then. Now even that probably always use this kind of opportunity for doing. And I don't want
An interesting one from this week. Well, one of the most wanted of the Amazonian fighters by the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military, Mbache Clement, also known as FM No PT, has been reported dead. This is captured in a video and image of a lifeless body that looked like his, though the La Republic du Cameroon's military, as time passed, announced that they have killed him like severally, time without number, which has been proven not true, for he came in videos debunking the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon's military claims. And this time around, even if FM No PT is really no more, the Amazonian spirit is alive and the freedom of Amazonia is not centered in the life of one fighter. No PT, there were fighters before him and there will be fighters after him. We saw the lifeless body, the one you can see now, but then a lot of people are not so certain if that really is No PT. We believe that it could be him and it could not. Perhaps the body was deformed by the killers, but our concern is La Republic's interest and excitement of purporting his death is very, very glaring. Well, we promise to bring you more updates to the story as it unfolds.
Well, now to another important report for this week on the genocide in Amazonia. Now we took a long look at the very popular, even though extremely disheartening Ngabo massacre. And we know that Wikipedia has its description of it in details. Now this massacre happened in Ngabo, Ntombo, Ndo, Donga Mantun division, hence the tag Ngabo massacre. The unfortunate incident is not an unknown incident to Amazonians. It took place on the 14th of February 2020, with the target of these murders being civilians, shooting to death over 22 civilians, although some reports has it that it could be 35 civilians and some others 28. A macabre act carried out by La Republic du Cameroon military with an anti-Ambazonian intention, in other words, to wipe out the peace-loving people of Amazonia from the surface of the earth for trying to fight for their statehood and sovereignty.
Also this week, we took a look at the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon being captured on camera burying Amazonian detainees' dead body in mass graves. Well, the video was taken by an individual without the knowledge of these colonial officers at the Soa Yaoundé, precisely behind the gas station in the Elivoz neighborhood. Curious about the presence of the La Republic du Cameroon's military in an isolated area with a truck well protected and a front head loader heavy-duty machine, this individual decided to take a videotape of what they were doing.
Well, also this week, we told you that members of the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon BSC PDM party in Muyuka local government area have called on the youth who are still in the bushes to drop their weapons and give peace a chance. While the La Republic du Cameroon terrorist soldiers remain armed to the teeth, causing havoc on peace-loving Ambazonians. Reacting to the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon dictator Bia's message to the youth, CPDM members of Muyuka local government area pleaded that the young people heed to Bia's counsel.
While also the CPDM members have welcomed the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon's military engineers who arrived on February 14, 2023 for the construction of the Kumba Ekondo Titi Road project. And we learned this week that these CPDM militants held peace plans and were singing in different languages. The engineers were expected to tar the road, and the militants sent relief to them.
Also, this week we brought you a report that Venu Alpha, who hails from Bui County, is another victim of armed men of the underworld who have been targeted. Amazonian young men and women who have escaped from the ravaging war rocking ambulant to seek for safety, only running from fire to the deep blue sea in Creole La Republic de Cameroon. Venu Alpha is a commercial motorcycle rider in Yaoundé. He had just celebrated his birthday 2 days ago before he was killed in the Nkobang neighborhood in Yaoundé. Venu Alpha was attacked and killed by armed robbers on Monday, February 13, 2023, and his murderers took away his motorcycle and disappeared with it.
The women with peace plans this week paralyzed circulation in the town of Boya, the circulation of La Republique du Cameroon's military, chanting freedom songs. In their numbers, they declared that they won't stop nor leave until the children arbitrarily kidnapped by the colonial La Republique du Cameroon soldiers are freed. Now, due to the frustration of Ekona youths not showing up for the banned February 11 celebration, the colonial authorities decided to vent their frustration on the youths by arresting them the next day. Well, on Sunday, 12 February 2023 this week, a host of Colonial La Republique du Cameroon's military men stormed Ekona and arrested innocent youths playing football on the field and arrogated them to Boya. The same operation was carried out by the Colonial La Republique du Cameroon's military on Tuesday, February 14th, in the same locality, arresting more people. Well, eventually they were all released.
And as well, a report came in on Thursday, 16th of February 2023, of a serious attack on a Brazil convoy along the Balangi-Kumba Road by Amazonian freedom fighters, resulting in many casualties on La Republic de Cameroon colonial soldiers accompanying those trucks. When will La Republic de Cameroon pack and vacate Amazonia is a question. Now, this report came in with horrible pictures reaching Undaunted. The Amazonian liberation fighters waylaid a convoy of La Republic de Cameroon terrorist military, escorting counterband braziers due La Republic de Cameroon products into Kumba local government area at a place called Balangi, and the ambush was fatal, with one colonial La Republic de Cameroon terrorist military seriously wounded with an arm chopped off and others slightly injured. Now, the Amazonian liberation fighters just tested one of their latest explosive that caused that particular damage.
Well, with that report, we'll end the recap for tonight. And coming in after this break is the fresh report of today. Stay tuned.
You're welcome back, and let's take the fresh reports for today for the Balikumbad massacre. Well, it seems like it is a forgotten massacre. The commandant of Tubar, a French-speaking colonial officer from French La Republic du Cameroon, wiped out an entire family in Balikumbad. Women and children were not spared. Miraculously, a 4-month-old baby survived the massacre, lying on the dripping blood of her dead mother. The crime of the victim is that they are relatives of an Amazonian freedom fighter.
Well, it's standard practice of French Cameroon to go kill and harass relatives of people they seek to kill or arrest. Strangely, no official news channel ever reported the Balikumbat massacre until the story was picked up by our national news link correspondent in Bamenda.
All right, and moving on to another story. Antoinette Kongso, one of the victims of the excesses of Moja Moja in Buea, has regained freedom from the colonial military court after being unlawfully detained for 16 months. She gained her freedom after paying the court the sum of 65,000 francs CFA. She was nabbed because she was once the girlfriend of Mbeshia Clement, an Ambazonian fighter. At the time of her abduction, she was pregnant and taken without any warrant by the overzealous bees element Muja Muja.
Well, on Wednesday, February 15, 2023, the same Colonial Boya military court that has held her for the act of terrorism declared her not guilty, but guilty of not reporting actions of terrorism. She was then sentenced to 16 months with a fine of 65,000 francs CFA, 16 months that she had already served in her pre-trial detention. This is how the crazy colonial La République du Cameroon's judiciary system operates. They arrest without a warrant and with no evidences to their claims. Antoinette Kongso knew Mbache Clement when he was a bike rider, yet she is deprived of her rights to freedom because her one-time boyfriend has become an Amazonian fighter. Is it any fault of hers anyway?
Now, the military court in Buea on February 15 pronounced a 16-month sentence on detained nursing mother Antoinette Kongso alongside a fine of 65 francs AFA, but she was asked to pay just the fine as she has already served her prison term during the pre-trial detention. Gong Shou, who has been detained since October 2nd, 2021, was found guilty of failure to report terrorism, said barrister Ewule Younger, who was at the court. He said because she had already spent 16 months in pretrial detention, she's just expected to pay the fine of 65 francs CFA for her to go with her family. That's what he said.
Well, Antoinette Kongso was charged for failing to report the terrorist activities of Clement Mbashi, popularly called No PT, an Amazonian fighter in the northern zone of Amazonia, whom she dated some years back. Barrister Wole Lionga and other lawyers who have been championing the case had submitted to the court that her arrest and detention were unlawful. Kongoso was 8 months pregnant when she was arbitrarily arrested from her home in Boya by a military officer popularly called Moja Moja. According to Barrister Tamfo Richard, another advocate who has been calling for her release, Moja Moja abused and tortured Antoinette Kongoso before forcefully bundling her to the Gendarmerie Brigade without an arrest warrant.
He and other human rights lawyers initiated several legal battles to secure her release, but to no avail. Wednesday's decision by the Boyle Military Court gives them the much deserved justice they have been seeking on behalf of the nursing mother, whose innocent baby has spent its first year in prison.
These and so many more happen right to Amazonians, right under the nose of the world. Well, let's take a look at the very forgotten massacre, the Balikumbat massacre. All right, moving on with the stories for tonight. Reports reaching Undaunted this morning say Colonial La Republique du Cameroon military got wind that the dreaded No PT was admitted at the Baptist Hospital in Bingo in Boyo County and cooked up a plan for the invasion of this hospital yesterday, February 16th, to trap No PT and wounded fighters. Unfortunately, the Amazonian Restoration Forces of Bello local government area were alerted and they immediately surrounded Bingo Hospital on time.
Well, aware of their impending storm, the La Republique du Cameroon military narrowly escaped, running at the speed of a young horse, and the boys got hold of their abandoned white Helios Toyota car and sang their joyful songs back to their camp. At the moment, the car has been burned to ashes. It is about the fifth time that no PT has been killed by La Republique du Cameroon terrorist military since the senseless war declared on Ambazonia started in 2017.
On to our next report for tonight. Well, President Sako's stance the interim government from the February 10th attack on CDC workers. It has always been the scheme of the neighboring La Republique du Cameroon's government enemy to progress to the progress of former British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia to rubbish the liberation struggle of the Ambazonian restoration forces on the ground. They do this by carrying out inhumane actions against the people of Southern Cameroon in the name of the Ambazonian restoration forces to turn the people against the fighters.
Well, a recent such act was the raining of bullets on a truck carrying CDC workers, killing 5 and wounding others on Friday, February 10, 2023, in Modoni, a locality of the equatorial zone of Ambazonia. President Samuel Ikome Sako and the interim government, in an interview with BBC, stated categorically clear that the attack does not align with the way the Ambazonia restoration forces operate.
Well, the president of the Ambazonian interim government, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, has distanced the Ambazonian restoration forces of the interim government from the attack and killing of CDC workers in Mondoni. He was speaking in an interview with the BBC to the president. The way the attack on the CDC workers doesn't reflect the way the Ambazonian restoration forces operate. He says it is not part of a practice to just go into any place, even if those people are acting contrary to our orders and spray bullets like spraying mosquitoes. He said that has not been our modus operandi. For actors are active in the war terrains in Ambazonia. That has not been our style. Many times when people go against our laws, they are arrested, threatened, and then released, he added.
Talking on the prospect of peace in Ambazonia, President Dr. Sako said that they can't talk of peace unless the aggressor, in this case La Republique du Cameroon, is willing to dialogue because they have lodged themselves in the logic of the military option. To him, he says La Republique du Cameroon needs to show a willingness to come to the table mediated for possible normalcy, if not peace, if of impossible. Reacting to the failed Canada Peace Talks initiative, President Sako opined that the mediator cannot self-elect the parties involved in the conflict, should elect their mediator and endorse him to kick on. La Republique du Cameroon objected that they never gave a mandate to Canada to mediate. Likewise, the France never endorsed Canada either.
The president equally expressed the willingness for the Federal Republic of Ambazonia to sit in for a dialogue when things get serious with the La Republique du Cameroon, which is killing the people of Ambazonia, sending representatives and somebody to head the delegation to be able to report back to the president.
All right, before we move further, we talked about the Bali combat video. Now, here it is.
This is a nursing mother being shot. This is the baby. The nursing mother being shot today in Babanki Tungo by La Republique. Shot. The woman was being shot by the commandant of Tuba on her stomach. So this is the baby line. The baby line. 4 months old. Baby. Shanuel. Yes, now one woman this way they kill and where they kill them fight one compound. Now one this, then now two this, the way they kill and one compound. Then three this, number three this, where they kill them today. Then number four this. Then number four, and number five this where they kill him. For this compound, the key for this compound, the key, the key 4 women then with one boy. So now work that for a lot.
Well, what a very sad video there. You can imagine how that child will live without the parents and the siblings. All right, now talking about the interview with the BBC, just in case you've not been privileged to watch that particular piece, that interview President Samuel Ikomen had with the BBC, now would give you that privilege to watch it right now.
The conflict in Anglophone Cameroon rumbles on. In just the last few days, there have been reports of separatist fighters and workers for a state-owned company being killed and young men arbitrarily arrested, leading to protest. The war broke out over 5 years ago, with Anglophones saying they'd been marginalised by the French-speaking elite, which dominates Cameroonian politics. There's also dismay over the apparent collapse of a potential path to peace. Last month, Canada said it would be mediating between Cameroon's government and several Anglophone movements, only for Yaoundé to reject this shortly afterwards. Well, Samuel Ikomen is a major figure among the separatists. He sees himself as the leader of the internationally unrecognised Ambazonia state, though in the divided and divisive world of separatist politics, this is rejected by others. I asked him what the prospects for peace are in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon.
We cannot talk of peace unless the aggressor, in this case, the Republic of Cameroon, is ready to dialogue with us. They are locked themselves in a logic of war. They're in the military option, and they believe that they can kill their way to normalcy. So I cannot really answer that question. If they are not ready to come to the table with the mediation of the international community, then they are not. They're just buying time to continue killing their way to a possible normalcy that is impossible.
Should that dialogue come mediated by Canada, as Canada itself has suggested, Yaoundé seems to be rejecting that possibility?
You know, the mediator cannot self-elect. The parties involved in the conflict should elect a mediator. They should endorse a mediator to be one. Apparently, the way things have turned out, Cameroon is saying that they did not give Canada the mandate to mediate. We did not give them either. So we did not participate in any shape or form in that gathering because Cameroon, that is fighting and killing our people, was absent. So we said, okay, when it becomes serious enough that Cameroon decides to send a representative of that government that is killing our people and somebody to head that delegation that can report back to their president, then we will be part of such an initiative. Otherwise, that was coming just 2 weeks after they declined the offer of the Swiss, the opportunity given by the Swiss, by the international community, that they pretended for 2 years to be in favor of, that they endorsed in the first place, the Swiss-led process. 2 weeks after they withdrew, then this charade was created in Canada. And Canada was not patient enough, did not follow the procedure, did not learn from the Swiss to have insisted that certain conditions be met by Cameroon to prove that they are serious this time, that they are not just going to waste their time as they wasted that of the Swiss, but they took upon themselves to convene a meeting that did not rise to the level of a mediated dialogue.
President Biya recently celebrated his 90th birthday, half of that at least really in charge in Cameroon. There's so much talk in Cameroon about who will follow on from the president. Do you think that there's really no focus on resolving the problems of Anglophone Cameroon because of that, in part?
I think that for a long time now, there has been a vacancy, a power vacancy in Yaoundé. Every time you hear them say, upon the high instructions of the head of state, because all their instructions and orders and decrees these days, when they sign them for a while now, for more than 2 years, they preamble it by saying, by the high instruction of the head of state, to tell you that the man is not there. There's nobody called Paul Biya who is in charge, who is aware. We saw him in Washington when he was compelled to come to the United States to attend the US-Africa Summit. We saw somebody who was in an advanced stage of dementia, completely disoriented. He did not even know where he was. He was asking, I didn't ask for to speak or to be here. Who are those in the hall? You saw that clip. That's to tell you exactly what has been going on in Yaoundé for the past 2 to 3 years. So these people who are surrounding him, who are already positioning themselves for the after Biya, their sole concern is the after Biya. They're not there to solve Biya's problems. They are there to position themselves for the after Biya. And then this call of coming to meet us on the table cannot be made by a subsidiary. It has to be made by the president, who is unfortunately absent,
And
who doesn't have his mental capacities.
And meanwhile, violence in Anglophone Cameroon continues, yes, from government forces, but also from separatist forces. For example, accusations that separatist forces killed 5 members of the Cameroon Development Corporation, CDC, recently. Civilians continue to suffer.
It has not been part of our practice to just go into any place, even if those people are acting contrary to our orders, and then spray bullets like praying mosquitoes. That has not been our modus operandi. There are 4 actors that are active in the war terrains of Ambazonia, and I should make this clear. There are 4 separate actors. Criminal elements can come from both sides. And yes, they can be from our side, but that has never been our style. When people go against our laws, many times they have been arrested. They have been taken and then released.
Samuel Ikome Sako there, the separatist politician and figure, should point out that Cameroon's president, Paul Biya, and his supporters would reject those allegations.
All right, you're welcome back. All right, let's move on. Bishop Michael Bibi condemns the attack on CDC workers as he visits victims at the hospital. The attack that led to the death of 5 workers of the CDC has been condemned by many persons and institutions, with the Catholic Church not being indifferent. The Bishop of the Diocese of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, condemned in strong terms the killings of some 5 workers of the Cameroon Development Corporation, CDC, on Thursday, February 10th, 2023, along the Tico Douala Road at Modeni Oil Mill, which is part of St. Peter's Parish, Mudeka, under his territory circumscription.
Well, in a release dated Monday, February 13th, 2023, the prelate writes, I learned with a saddened heart the tragic news about 5 workers of the Cameroon Development Corporation, CDC, Banana Group, comprising 4 men and 1 woman, shot dead and several others wounded on Friday, February 10th, 2023. The bishop, away from the statement, has paid a visit to those recovering from wounds from the attack in the hospital.
Well, the Bishop of Boya sympathized with the victims of the Modeni attack by paying them a visit at the Tico Cottage Hospital. Bishop Bibi, after issuing a communique condemning in strong terms of some 5 workers of the CDC recently, paid a sympathy visit to the victims currently receiving treatment at the Tico Cottage Hospital on Wednesday, February 15th, 2023.
Well, during this visit, he prayed with them as well as encouraged them to remain prayerful during this time of recovery. Michael Bibi equally used this visit to provide some immediate assistance to the victims. According to a press release, by the general manager of CDC, signed on February 11, 2023, the workers were returning from work at about 5:30 p.m. when unidentified gunmen attacked the personal carrier transporting them along the stretch of road off the Tico Douala Road from Mondoni Oyomi, found in the circumscription of St. Peter's Parish, Mudeka, in the Diocese of Boya.
All right, we have some situation here from Bui County. It says over 35 La Republique du Cameroon terrorist military trucks have entered Bui County over the past week alone and are presently stationed at the Colonial Company and Army Camp Bin Kumbo local government area. Now, their mission has been termed Operation Last Fight, as they hope to mount pressure and eliminate the almighty Bui warriors, the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Their ANSC is calling on the almighty ARFs of Bui and their civilian population to maintain a maximum level of security. Of course, you know what they say: when you see something, say something; hear something, say something.
On their way into Bui on the 16th of February 2023, the La Republique du Cameroon terrorist convoy was attacked at Serb by the Ambazonian Restoration Forces of Bui, destroying one of their armored cars together with its occupant. Well, in the mornings of today, another contingent of La Republique du Cameroon's terrorists attacked the village of Vem in Zekwa local government area, hoping to catch the ARF's Ambazonian Restoration Forces, but then the Ambazonian Restoration Forces were a step ahead of them. Frustrated from their failed mission, they resorted to the burning of houses, as always is the case. This today attack in Zekwa local government area comes barely a week after the terrorists received a bloody nose when they attacked a Vekovi village, also in Zekwa local government area, and were severely pounded, leaving at least 6 of them dead from that battle. The Ambazonian Restoration Forces in Bui County, also known as the Land of No Return, have been putting up a strong fight, and they applauded the courage and determination to keep up bleeding the occupier. This message is courtesy from Bui County Security Team. And with this, we'll get into the intergovernment defense briefings for tonight.
IG Defense Briefing. Rebranded and reinvigorated. Fire for fire.
Good day, fellow Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. Today na Saturday, 18th of February 2023. I come this morning. Now when I begin Gabonese, I come live from home front. I want to salute all our brave fighters, our field masters, generals, commanders, colonels, and foot soldiers who they fight so hard for defend Ambazonia from the house of these criminals. When Mr. Paul Biya Bill Vondo, Bartholomew, Hitler, the terrorists, it is send them for kill or picking them, rape or picking them on our houses inside Ambazonia. I come this morning where we don't see some video where they circulate on social media from Equinox television where a certain fighter they call himself a grandpa for a win. It is talk for inside DDR. Fellow Ambazonia, make the one be a strange thing for we Ambazonia. We don't see all this mafia and all this cabal and the network of French Cameroon and the civilian cabal when they be declared war on our people. We don't remember send Nambere and all the criminals where they be plan them among we where they go for DDR and some of them they don't run away from DDR and so they find means for run means in a day. Fellow Ambazonians, When I see this very grandpa from Awing, where he don't go give himself for DDR, he will then an agent among we the fighters them, where he walk. Now for make them the key people that are picking them for inside this struggle. When I remember what General A4, Queen Mother, and some other fighters them, they will be murdered for inside La Republic, where they want to carry on a deadly mission for that area. When this same grandpa, he will send them for La Republic. Where it is show, say grandpa, he will then an agent inside we as we fight for independence for Saudi Cameroons. So fellow Ambazonians, I come this morning, I want to assure our population, I want to assure Ambazonians, and I tell the international communities, say Saudi Cameroons is not for sale, and Saudi Cameroons is a state where we fight a base. Now our historical fact, I must fight until one man standing, nothing more, nothing less. We don't give French Cameroon any second chance, as we don't carry gun for fight against our enemy. Now Mr. Pobia declare war on Ambazonians. We at Saudi Cameroonians, Ambazonians, will defend ourselves. I will defend our national territory. So fellow Ambazonians, make we not know in the days of apartheid when Nelson Mandela he been there for prison for 27 years. There were some black South Africans where they were happy with the apartheid regime. Those were the agents where they work for the apartheid regime. The same for Taliban. When I say when Taliban they fight for their right for 21 years. After America withdraw its troops, so many Talibans, about 50,000, they evacuate Afghanistan. And so on them, they be executed because they been a black leg behind the American government for killing the Taliban. So Ambazonians, inside Saudi Cameroon of independence, we get so many of those people where they around we, where they say we're intelligent, and they happy with the Yaoundé regime for the key are picking them. So if we see the kind of thing when it happened, French Cameroon, they do it best, and they do it best with the agent them for keep Saudi Cameroon in slavery. But I want to tell Yaoundé, say the days ahead are deadly, and Saudi Cameroonians we go fight until one man standing. No way, no way. When La Republic they go take back this country. For that one, and they assure our people. When I see how they kill Martinez Zogo, that journalist from the Betty Bulu Fang, when I say you the people in Blog Road, when I say they don't arrest so many top government officials, put them for prison, according to them, now window dressing, fellow Ambazonians, they kill our own picking for here. Wazizi from Munya, they bury him for mass grave. French Cameroon, they don't care. Even the president for Saudi Cameroon, or they call and say Anglophone journalist, come and search, they poison you for that very murder for Wazizi. When I say Saudi Cameroonians, we not get no value, we not get no value for French Cameroon. They regard we like second class citizens. According to them, they own this land, but God forbid, say these demons will continue anything to do with them. So make you know, say what you have about grandpa for a win. Now a plan act for some of them where they decide, say they want to work with the enemy, but Saudi Cameroon is here to stay. Ambazonia must be liberated, nothing more, nothing less. And they advise all Ambazonians, make una stay resolute, make una move resist. We go resist until one man standing. Make una know say Saudi Cameroon independent. It be based now for historical fact. I will fight na genuine fight. So shake in no day. Ambazonia must be liberated. All we all sit there for bush. What we fight for free Saudi Cameroon. We all understand our history. We know our right, and we understand. Say even at 100 years, Saudi Cameroon will be liberated. Okara Bilai, the master planner behind the killing of Wazizi, it looks around Saudi Cameroon. It keep picking them on daily basis. No one day, La Republic them, all the citizens, they don't question why they kill Ambazonians. Make we know say they are plan, what they plan. So Ambazonians, make we stay resolute, we remain safe. If they announce lockdown or they announce any ghost towns, make we respect our ghost towns and our lockdowns, please, fellow Ambazonians. Because French Cameroon, it go discard like soldiers, like we, the Ambazonian freedom fighters. It can kill una for tackling like terrorists according to French Cameroon. Ambazonians, now Saudi Cameroons is there for war. You must be vigilant, you must understand, and you must take care for your own life. If anything come out like a ghost town or lockdown, make una respect them so that una life it go be safe from the hands of French Cameroon terrorist militaries. The days ahead are deadly. Make una respect our Monday's lockdown when it's time for the symbol for our liberation struggle. We must reach Boya, Cameron, Campson, Paul Bia, Bill von the Bartholomew. If we confess at the Mu Ibrahim conference, so they don't try for assimilate we in our work because our identity, our cultural heritage. Fellow Ambazonians, now the time is for all we for understand. Say French Cameroon is here to kill us and take our land and our resources. Make we stay strong and we stay safe. Surely the struggle. May God bless Ambazonia.
IG Defense Briefing. rebranded and reinvigorated. Fire for fire.
Ambassadors, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm a commissioner for Home Front. Yes. For all restorational forces for Home Front, we agree to now. For all restorational forces for Home Front, we agree to now. This music, I appreciate all the men and women who they stand strong for Home Front. And today, we declare Operation No Drug Home Front. I say we declare Operation No Drug Home Front. We can inform all the units for Home Front. Say effective the 20th of February, that's on Monday. No unit will keep any drug within themselves, and nobody will be allowed to take any drug. We talk of waiting any drug substance will make you confused. You know go take up. So all assistant commander them for all the unit them and I go be in charge. We'll make sure say everybody under that unit, nobody go use any drug substance. We go make it populate ahead. We don't win like public. Now the one use medication and drugs them, but they fool us. We would get confused. So effective the 20th, that's February 20th, that's Monday 2023. Now Operation No Drug in San Bazonia. All the fighting units them, and I get from today's Saturday, Sunday for take the drugs them if you want a possession, we'll get them back for the owner them or for trash up. Anybody where they keep drug on his behalf, you go tell me you can take a drug within 48 hours. Because by Monday, you no get for actually you go inside the drug day. You go trash up the toilet. I say you go put up a toilet. So all the unit them in the 13 counties, 61 LGA. Anybody where get drug for a possession, you go call the owner, make can take a drug. We're not gonna be interested to use drug. Anybody where you go sell any drug, we go arrest you, we go shoot it. Anybody where you come for neighborhood can they sell drugs them? Those drugs that the big people they populate, we go hold you. We say anybody where you go can they sell drugs them? We are neighborhood they make them hold you populate, we go hold you. As we the fight go for Boya, we stay focused. We need a country, a disciplined people. We need a country with a focused people, focused mind and focused brain. We no longer get the country, we will get people where they drug they control them or alcohol they control them. As we the march they go, they send a shout out to May County, they send a shout out to May County, send a shout out to Mezam, to Ndian, to Manyu, to Fako, to Lebialem, all the county them. Send a shout out to all of them. When they stand strong, prepare for enemy eye. We come for tell when I say, we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be ready in the weeks or days ahead. The next announcement will go come. When the next announcement go come, all go move that same direction. Now be ready days ahead or weeks ahead. For the next announcement will go come. Country as a whole, all go move in that direction. To God be the glory. As the march to go, we're gonna not forget Operation Drug Free from Bazonia. Mommy and Papa them, if you say you carry drugs and carry sell them for our kingdom and our brothers and sisters them, maybe they smoke them, they get drunk, they get high, they die quick. If we see you say that drug again, so from Monday, February 20th, nobody go get any drug, smoke them, drink them, overdo anything. The only medicine if you drink and medicine will make you if you get wound, you drink it make you well. If you get headache, you drink medicine, you make you well. We don't want any illegal medicine. We from stand up for like public they can poison me for grounded. We thank una and they thank all the genuine restorational fighters in Home Front. We not forget that our people take various agent them, put inside various unit them. When the time reach, when they say they no be sell, business no the pass, they go give themselves for this other center. They go hand over themselves. When they hand over themselves, and with time the enemy go help kill them. The enemy themselves. Make when they march to go, we agree to now. Until then, make una stay blessed and stay focused. Yes, Home Front. When I not forget Operation No Drug Western Bazonia. Operation No Drug Western Bazonia. It go to effect now. As soon as they hear this audio, as with the match, nobody go sell drug Western Bazonia. When I get from today, the 18th, the 20th, for 8 hours. If you get any money, the person the drug where you keep him, you go call him, make him take a drug. If you no can take him by Monday, the 20th, you go throw the drug. And when you try, you no get no chance or no reason for ask you say drug day. And I go try for toilet. We no go smoke or drink drug. Make we populate, we confuse. We human being, we stay human being and stay focused. We need fighting forces. We need the population. We need the society. We will make good decision. Govern ourselves. No one people really go confuse head inside us. So anybody we go come for cancer drugs for our neighborhood them when I go shoot him, when I go kill him. As anybody we go bring medication or those drugs them for cancer lab, people they get high, they get confused when I go shoot him and I go keep him. If you need your drug them with any of your friend, you get the money for can take him. If you no can take that drug, the person will keep him go draw him. You know go sell him, you go draw him. If you sell him, we'll see you, we'll shoot you, we'll understand. And all the assistant commander they be responsible will carry out this task force. They will be in charge. Check all you make sure say nobody get any drug for yourself. Nobody keep any drug and nobody smoke any drug. If you feel like taking drug, exercise. exercise, feel like taking drug, you exercise, feel like taking drug, chop orange, feel like taking drug, find some fruit, you chop up, feel like taking drug, jump up and down, do push-ups, it will pump you, it will give you energy, it will make you stay focused. We have a safe life. The whole idea for this revolution of a safe life, I remove Oboya. We no go worry Oboya with crazy body and crack it. Anybody when you hear this audio, all the forces of home front, when I will enforce them, all the LG them will enforce them. When I don't forget home front day, chop no go for go for la Republic, chop no go for go for la Republic. People do they carried meta them, no go for carried meta them. People they can't give light bill, water bill, no go for cam. When I see them, nothing for do. Any man can for call water for a neighborhood, nothing for do. Nobody will give you tax. I no see tax no day. When I no see tax no day, when I get myself ready, the announcement will come within the week, within the days ahead. As we will push it up. The same time, same direction. When I boy. Until then, we're gonna stay blessed.
IG Defense Briefing. Rebranded and reinvigorated. Fire for fire.
Yeah, fellow Amazonians, all welcome to today's edition of our defense briefing. Today is Saturday, the 18th of February, 2023, excuse me. We are sorry that we are late for this program today. We had some it's due to some technicalities beyond our reach. But without ado about nothing, let's take on and we have to compress this program probably into an hour. We may not take an hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours as you used to do before. So most of our talking points we'll have to compress them and see to it that we talk within that time limit. For our panel today, we have the usual panelists with the exception of Comrade Paul Nilong. We are having our SOS Zama. We are having Comrade Fombat, and on our technical bench, we have Comrade Paddy and Apasto. I will start by introducing myself. I am the spokesman for the NSC. I'm Kenneth, the spokesman for the NSC, and I want to thank those that have been faithful, those that have been sitting, and maybe those that have been waiting to follow up on this program. We're telling you all to probably share this, share if you have the link, share the links, and bring in more people so that they can listen to us, as we'll bring you nothing but the truth from the home front with regards to our action and what our people are going through. So I'll be giving the microphone to our fellow panelists to introduce themselves. And I'll start with the most senior member on our group, which is SOS Zama. SOS Zama, microphone is yours, please.
Thank you, Comrade Kenneth. I want to thank all Amazonians who are tuning in today to watch our show. As we said, this show is basically to give you information that will save you, that will save lives, that will help our citizens to be out of harm's way. We are here today to give you a lot more information than you've heard from other branches of the media, coming from a military perspective of our organization, the Interim Government of Amazonia. We thank you for tuning in today, and we'll have a lot to share. Thank you.
Thank you, SOS Zama. As you heard, we are giving you a military perspective, and that's what you get tonight. Comrade Humbert, please, the microphone is yours. Comrade Humbert. Comrade Humbert, can you hear me, please? I don't know. He's having some, maybe he must be having some technicalities. Can you hear me, SOS?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's move on with our stories for tonight. Let me just, I'll take on the topics, today's topics. Oh, okay. Comrade Paul, are you on? Comrade Fombat, are you on now? We can't hear you. Comrade Fombat, check your device, please. Check your device. Okay, let's move on. Can you hear me now? Not yet. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. He'll join us anytime when he's done with when he's able to manage his this thing, the controls of his device. So let's go on to the topics for today. We have today we'll be looking at probably 7 topics. We have action on the home front, and as usual, I'll be the one to take to give us the narrative, to give us the rundown of the actions on the home front. We'll have to look again at the 11th of February non-event that took place just past a few days ago. And then we have to revisit the ban of food into neighboring La Republic. There are certain aspects of that ban, or there are certain things we have to look at them and maybe make things straight for our people back at home. On the 4th point, we're looking at the incursion, the emboldenment of the Fulanis that are gradually making headway into our territory and causing havoc on our people. The 4th point is we'll be looking at the 5th point, excuse me, our courageous murder in Econa. The 6th, the burning of homes by La Republic terrorists within some of our counties. And that's the 6th point. The 7th point is that of the grandpa, the so-called grandpa of we, and his surrender to the DDR. Yeah, Comrade Fombat, can you hear me now? Oh no, the device is still not. Okay, let me just.
Hello?
Comrade Fombat. Yes, finally you're on. Welcome. Yeah, we had introduced ourselves, and when we passed over the microphone to you, you were not on. So can you introduce yourself and talk to our viewers, please?
Anyway, I'm happy again to be here in the presence of the SOS to speak to Ambazonian people. What I can only say is congratulations and a 21 gun salute to the brave warriors on the ground who are doing the ultimate job, who are giving their all and all to make sure that we get a free homeland. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Fombat. Thank you. Finally, we heard from you. Let's go directly to the situation report. That's action on the home front. So with that, as we promised that we have maintained sustained attacks on the enemy across the territory. This week, with the following attacks that took place, we had the attack that took place in Malangi, where La Republic envoy was, where the La Republic envoy that was escorting the contraband Brazzaris product. The restoration forces got them, and at least what information we got, at least 12 of them were brought down. And a lot more were seriously injured. Next, we had another attack by our restoration forces that attacked their convoy in Bui. That's in Sop around Zikwa. And that one involved the taking out of an armored personnel carrier, in which we are not so certain that anybody came out of that personnel carrier alive. So the carrier was completely destroyed, and probably it might have been moved from the spot. The next we had the retinas of Alo, the BLM. They came out and did what they could do best. We had reports that the SGO for that area, the colonial SGO, came in and was trying to, with the colonial forces, and was terrorizing our civilians. So they carry out an attack on their convoy, and I think we'll be listening more to that as the program progresses. And also in Boyo, the restoration forces attacked a white pickup that was carrying some of the Republic forces. Actually, it was some sort of a camouflage pickup, a pickup that they use for covert activities. So they were tipped that that pickup was on its way. They attacked that pickup, and the results was, I think, nearly all of those that the occupants, a lot of them, were sent across the Mungo in body bags. And then we have the Ndonga Mantungango Kutunja state of maximum security. We are aware that a lot of the terrorists have been shipped into, they have been moved into Ndonga Mantung and Gokutunja together with Bui. And they are hiding in the environments, in the neighborhoods. So with that, we are advising our people that when these people do come around, we know what they usually do. We saw them when they burn houses. We see them rape, we see them kill, and we see them loot our properties. So we are advising our population in those localities that they should be on the watch out. These people don't mean well whenever they come around. And then lastly, an ARF camp was visited. An ARF camp was visited by this same terrorist at Bem, but there they found no one. So for those that are still within those, anyway, we'll be talking about that later on, please. Then our civilians, as we said earlier, should be on maximum alert. We know what to expect when these people are there. So that's the situation that's the situation report on the home front. We'll be asking the SOS and then to chip in. He's very experienced when it comes to matters like this, and from there on we'll be talking to Commander Fombat to give us the perspective of the ANC. So SOS Zama, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, sir. I'm having a lot of background echo, so please, if you have something on, another equipment and turn it off, please. We had a lot of offensive actions in the entirety of our territory. We're still coming and talking to people regarding selling contrabands in Amazonia, which is against the law, and this only funding the criminals in Yaoundé to fund this war. So far as all of us can contribute to this war by doing the little that we can, a little bit of inconvenience is just what is expected of us. It's a wartime. I said last week, we have enough food, we have enough liberty, but let's remember, we have to sacrifice convenience or death. That's what we have, the choices we have to do. And sometimes some people take upon themselves to continue to perpetuate this system of dependence on La Republique. We are trying to shake off these shackles from our feet. And for those who are continuing to do it, we are giving them enough information. We've fought this war for 7 years. We've seen the atrocities done by La Republique. When they go somewhere and they can't get the soldiers that are shooting at them, they go after our civilians. It's a pity that nobody is talking much about this. And our soldiers have been so disciplined not to attack Francophones who are living in our part of the country. But we are asking them, why not? Because you are killing Ambazonians all over in East Cameroon. We have caskets coming back to Bamenda, to Boya, to Victoria, all parts of the country, because they moved to La Republique, and these people are being killed on a daily basis. But we haven't been barbaric like they are. We've chosen to be civil. And sometimes civility in war is a doom. There's no war that has been civil. We are asking the international community and we are asking our citizens to be watchful. This is where they are perpetuating a system where we are stopping our people not to do the same on Francophones who are living amongst us. But our finger is just like trying to stop a dike from breaking. We cannot stop this dam from breaking over of emotions. It's just a matter of time. We will have people who will go and continue to do intercommunal killings. This is not what we want. This is not what we want. But I think that's where La Republique is setting up the community to maintain the few people who are the oligarchs who are in power by continuing to keep us separated from each other, by continuing to make us misunderstand each other. We are not going to be party to that. But I can tell you that over time, we've received a lot of pain. We've had a lot of pain. We have a lot of suffering. Their parents, soldiers' parents, are being arrested and tortured. Their girlfriends are being arrested and tortured. It will come a time when we will not be able to stop our population from acting the same way. But for now, we are holding firm. We are telling our citizens, we are telling our soldiers not to go after La Republique citizens who are in our territory. We want to tell them, especially those who are conniving with La Republique, they are legitimate targets for our soldiers to take them down whenever we get in contact with them. So this war is continuous. This war is going to continue until there's freedom. Whenever that comes, that's when Ambazonia is going to lay down its arms. Until that time comes, please be vigilant. Be vigilant about the marauding troops coming in from Yaoundé. They are very uncivilized, very untrained in military tactics and in military morals and laws. But please, let's not fall to that trap to be barbarians and savages like they are. We will fight this war on legitimate targets, on legitimate government targets, and legitimate conspirators and facilitators. Those are the people we're going to go after. We are not going to go after citizens of La Republique who are based in our communities, but we cannot guarantee their safety. We will say that because we can have rogue forces. La Republique sponsors rogue forces that can carry on those kind of activities. So our people, we are telling you to be vigilant. When you see something, you say something. If you are a hunter, you see people in the bushes that are not supposed to be there, you have to make that information known. If you see people moving in a community that are not supposed to be there, or they are new in that community, you have to make the people defenders of that community know. So this is just an information that we are passing to you, and please share this information as you go around. It could save your life. It could save the life of your neighbor. We should be each other's keeper. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. I think we are about to. There are some videos that I saw that were just going on. We'll just ask our technical bench if they can go on to play those videos, please, before we go on to Commander Fombat for him to do a little bit of analysis, for him to give us some analysis on the action that took place on it.
Today, 16, number 2 month, 2023. Yeah, una go see na colony cross this from SOP. Una go see am. He go do makaka. Una go hear makaka na. Then the car up from Jakiri. Yes. Now colony cross this reporting. From SOP, una don't see one motor. Yes. 2, tanker dede. 3. Don't reach your target. Now target that. Una don't see them. They don't reach. Una ya. Yaram. Una ya. Honorable Unity Warrior. Colonel Cross from SOP. Bing! Ayayu! Una don't see him! Ayayu! Colonel Cross from SOP! Ayayu!
Yeah, thank you so much for that video, comrades. We've just seen some action. There was action across the whole territory. And that was just maybe a video which we had access to. There were still some which I think there are still some which will not be able to play because of the limited time we've got today. So we'll be moving over to Commander Fomba to give us some analysis of from the ANC, of the work that the ARFs are doing on the ground after looking at those videos and many more of maybe some of the works that they did this week. So please, can you give us a brief analysis, please?
Yes, sometimes when I see actions like these, Ambazonians are very, very happy, so enthusiastic and energized. When we started when La Republic declared this war on our people, they didn't expect us to get to this level, and the possibility that we will resist for 1 week. Remember, they said 2 weeks they were going to crush us. They have called us, they say we're 2 cubes of sugar. Now the cubes of sugar have metamorphosized into 2 cubes of, not even stone, 2 cubes of diamond. That is not dissolving, that is not shaking. When we started, we were running around, our boys, volunteers, brave people were running around with them guns. And they said, that is when they brought out our propaganda. We moved to AKs, and now we have moved to something else. And the ANC is promising and telling La Republique that we have not even started this war. We have not started the war. We have not. We are still we are still about to start the war. Technologies, the laboratories are working, researchers are working day in, day out. And I want to tell La Republique and whosoever is listening to the sound of my voice that new technologies are getting on the ground. And in the months and years ahead, if La Republique does not come to the table to look for an amicable solution, then they will have themselves to be blamed. All counties during this past week have risen up. Libya taken another turn. Yesterday, the 17, 2 La Republique terrorist armored vehicles were smashed beyond repairs. That they can confirm. On the 10th of this February, when the IG declared a lockdown, the ARF of FACO, they wiped out 13 La Republique terrorists. 13, and a host of others seriously injured. Some of them gave up the ghost in the hospitals. The body bags keep going back to Akololinga. The body bags keep going to Etudi in their numbers. In Bui, the same. In Meme, the same. In Gokutunja, the same. In Mezam, Ambazonia is back up and kicking. This is a clarion call to the international community. If they think they want to salvage this situation, get La Republique to sit with Ambazonian on the negotiation table, and let's find a lasting solution. Let's discuss the root cause of this issue, and then we can live as good neighbors. We can live as good neighbors. We have all seen La République terrorist forces are dying in their numbers. And I pity the so-called black legs, the Anglo-fools, who are out there hiding the casualties from La République. We are honest people. If we drop one of our soldiers, we will tell the people that we dropped one, that one died, and we have to give them how and what happened. This is how we operate. But La République would not tell you. They will hide it, and they will employ and engage Anglo-fools. And they have given them maybe a 1,000 or 500 or some of them, even just free airtime, free credit. And they are trying to cover up for the enemy. But the truth remains. And what you know what the truth? The truth is that Ambazonia must be free. It is not shall be free. It is not Ambazonia shall be free. No, Ambazonia must be free. It is a must. We are not begging La Republic. We are not begging the United Nations. We are not begging US. We are not begging Britain. We are telling them that Ambazonia must be free. We have not started. We are moving forward. And home front is up and ready to jump, ready to run, ready to crawl and look for the enemy. We used to be offensive. Now we have gone defensive. We are going to look for La Republic. They are no longer coming to look for us. We are going, moving to them and chasing them out of our land. That is what the brave boys on the ground, the boys and girls, the men and women on the ground are up to. They are ready to die. They are not, they are already on the floor. They are on the ground, so they are no longer afraid to fall. It is not a question of live. It is a question of getting it freedom, getting the freedom. Even if they die in the course of fighting, they remain heroes and they remain in our memories and they will remain in our history books. And their children and their children's children will enjoy the fruit of their labor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commander Fumbat. Yeah, that we used to be on the defensive, now we are on the offensive. And we've fallen to the bottom, there is nowhere else to fall. We have to rise from there and fight. From what I've listened to the two of you, Kinley, a lot of our people have been killed, hundreds of thousands of our people. That is innocent Amazonian blood being shed. And yet, we've been fighting on our own turf, on our own terrain. None of the Francophones are being touched. They kill our civilians, our innocent civilians, day in, day out. We've listened to that. And Commander Fombat, from what you analyzed, you said the ANC, from the perspective of the ANC, the fight has not even started, which means we are looking at different strategies, looking at different ways to continue this fight. And I believe that's what Ambazonian people should be expecting in the days ahead, or in the days and months ahead. We are not begging for negotiations, never. If they want to negotiate, let them negotiate. We didn't start this war. When the time comes, if they want to sit down and talk, let them sit down. We'll be ready for talk. Let's move on to the next point. The 11th of February, on to our next story, the 11th of February non-event. I don't know if the technical bench have some videos for the 11th of February, please, because we saw some of our brilliant fighters, ARFs, what they did to enhance the lockdown. Do we have some videos before we go on with the narratives, please? Okay. Let's move on to the story. We just had, I think that was last Saturday.
Go. Live. Live.
Life. Yeah, mom. Life. 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 Yes, now today for your COVID this. Session no day. Yes. 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 Now Captain Momokam, even Captain Momokam day. Yes. Yes, session no day. Session no day. Bawile. Yes, session no day. Yeah, you. Aha, na so. Session no day. If I tell you say he's not set up. Life. 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 Yes. You know easy. Go.
Yeah, Sheikh no day. If I tell you say easy in a setup, those are our brilliant ARFs. Yeah, the 11th of February was a non-event from all across the Amazonian territory. From the information we've gotten from all our LGAs and from all our counties to the LGAs. I think we had a few exceptions which we'll talk about. So I would like to hand the microphone to, as usual, to our most senior panelist, SOS Zama, to give us to tell the Ambazonian people, to brief the Ambazonian people of what happened on that day. And before we talk to Commander Fombat to give us the perspective from the NSA. Comrade Zama, the microphone is yours, please.
We've been told so many times that 11th February was the Youth Day. There's nothing youthful about it, and we've declared that thing dead 7 years ago. Everything that's been done in Amazonia now are done by people who are being coerced at gunpoint to go march. Our citizens are being dragged to the marching fields like goats for sale. They know, and we know, that this thing is dead. It's dead and forgotten. Eventually, all those things that are represented on TV coming from Amazonia with stuff that were either an old footage or they shifted the days. They're doing it on non 11 February days. They're doing it sometimes on the 9th, sometimes on the 10th. Some places they just gather people and force them to march. Some of them, see from some of the videos that come in, people, it's not an Anglo-Saxon style to go marching, to go out of your house on a ceremony on flip-flops. So uncoordinated uniforms. You could see that's a very people who were brought into our community by bossing them to this community to march and give them the face that people march. They know that we didn't march. They know that this thing was a non-event. But of course, they have to have the money coming. They have to show semblance of something. And they have some dominance. And they have some presence. This is not what is going on. And people know that. And it hasn't been anything that is really been. It was a non-event. And you could see all the streets in the northern zone and in the southern zone. All of those streets are not as festive as they were when we didn't realize that it was a slavery or some commemoration of our own demise. But this generation, the never again generation, has put up a fight and has put up a fight and is putting up a fight for 7 years. We were given just 2 weeks. They said we will come back to negotiation table, we will come back crying, we will come back crawling and begging for food. Well, we are insisting they will be the one begging for food very soon. We are insisting that all our boundaries cut off from transporters who take food to a lot of people. And for certain, it will be painful. But we'll look for markets eastward, going back to Nigeria. We'll take our food to Nigeria, and we'll do what we must do to keep our farmers still sacrificed, but still fighting the war. And keeping them starved to death is what we will do. We can do that. It's a weapon that we can use, and we must use it. We must compel every person to use it. We've been lax about this. We cannot be feeding the food that keeps biting us. I know there are all mothers in our fight. If their child bites their nipple when they are breastfeeding, they'll smack that child and pull that breast away. We are not going to be giving them the breast to suck themselves and kill us. We are not going to continue doing that. We have to make our citizens understand that. It's going to be painful, yes. It will be for a short term, rather than having this thing prolonged out because we keep feeding them. The more they have strength, they will come to fight. If they don't have strength, they will fight in their own homes because they will not be able to have any food to eat. So we have to make the decision. Either we want to prolong it now with convenience, or we want to offer ourselves death because they will come and kill us. I don't know any person who should pick up that option. But there are some foolhardy people who are doing that. And we have to keep our people informed, keep telling them. And like I say all the time, the population will come out en masse to do things that not. I don't want to think about it, but this thing is building. We are seeing the pressure rising about people. You could see what happened in Ebola. It's beautiful that the people in Boya, the women in Boya, the women in Cuba, did not come out in concert. They were not indignant enough. This child who's been killed, or these children who were killed, picked up, are also their children. We have to fight like one. We have to go out like one. We have to. Don't go to the mayor. The mayor can't do anything. Go to the barrack. Go to the police barrack. Go to the military barrack. Therefore, most of this the population can stop this people. It doesn't matter how many police they have. They will do it damage. But at the end of the day, they will understand that they cannot overcome the population. The population that's willing to die for what they believe cannot be won. Cannot be beaten. And we have to make our citizens understand that. And that's the morale of our soldiers. This soldiers started with a plan, peace plans. And now we are evolving. And this war is being evolved, is evolving every single day as we speak. And I'm saying the anger is rising and rising. A pent-up anger, like our brother, elder statesman, Joseph Weber had said, when you have pent-up anger, there's nothing that can stop that anger from bursting out. This anger is just going to erupt like a mountain, like a volcanic mountain that we have in Boya, and it will erupt anything that it's in its way. We will not be able to stop the anger that people have had. We've had people who've lost nearly all their family members, and they're not going to. They will want to go back to for revenge, and I'm telling every person in our community, we will not be able to guarantee your safety. This is the best time to start looking for a way out, because that time is coming, and we can feel the pressure. We are talking to our citizens, we are talking to our soldiers, but I can guarantee them who are in our communities that we will not be able to provide them safety. So let them start looking for a way out now, where the roads are all open, and these Cameroon soldiers are going to run, because they will be the first ones to run when this population starts rising up in the masses at the end. So please, we are telling these citizens of La Republique, please, gently find your way home, or your cops will not be able to find their way home. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eswezama. I don't know. I want to inform our technical being. There's some resonance going on. I don't know. I don't know if it's my device alone. There's so much noise on the background. Please, we wish for you people to look into that. Yes, from the activities that we saw, we understand that on that particular day, the non-event.
The noise is coming from a format. There is noise in his environment. But, let me just mute him, and then he can try to resolve that.
Okay, He's supposed to be the one that. Yeah, Fombat, can you hear me? Oh no. My comrade Party, can you unmute him again? Yeah, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, fine. Okay. Still looking at the events of. Still looking at the the 11th of February non-event. We saw some of our brilliant ARFs come out and reinforce. Did some reinforcement, and a lot of, our citizens also, they did obey and they stayed at home. So how can you rate the activities of that day from the perspective of the ANSC, the planning and everything that you did? Can you give us a rating? Can you tell the Ambazonian people how you rate the success of that day? And if there were any glitches, something that happened that maybe unexpectedly, which you feel it could be some feature we could correct in the future.
Yeah, thank you. One thing must be clear, that the ANSC, our people recorded 100% success for the following reasons. At the home front, our genuine people, they know that 11 February was one of the biggest scam and the biggest lie that La Republique has forced on us since 1961. That was one of the biggest scam that we had ever had. And our people ignorantly have been celebrating the so-called 11 February. It is not until this Pobia declared war that our historians break out, seize the opportunity to explain to our people how the so-called 11th February came about. On the other hand, agents of La Republique and the colonial government and colonial administrators in our territory are seizing that opportunity, this advantage, to embezzle money from their government. La Republique citizens from across the Mungu, from Douala, from Bafoussam into Ambazonia, just to portray a different, image and deceive the international community and preach a so-called normalcy that does not exist. Meanwhile, the ANSC, we have identified some of those cities in Ambazonia who are harboring these so-called blacklegs, these Anglophiles, and who are enabling La Republique to ferry these people into Ambazonia. We are taking note. We know that there will be a time they will tell these people to move out there. I mean, even to go fetch water or go buy go buy one bottle of colonial poison, so-called beer, because at the ANC, like I said, and I will keep saying that we are working and working really hard. I will not come here to tell the Ambazonian people what we are doing, but let them know that we are working and working really, really hard. And one thing comes to mind: we need to sit down, examine this issue of schools. These schools, one of the highest.
Okay.
One of the.
Yeah, I'm home. I'm on a program TV. I just come in. When you come in, just text me.
One of the tools that La Republique has used in our territory to preach a so-called normacy that exists. They have used our school-going children as shields. They have used our school kids as another object to make propaganda for their benefit. Our parents, our mothers, especially the mothers who are so emotional, should understand that this is war period. The interim government has said, if you think there is security enough for your children, send them. But mind you that going forward, the ARFs would not look at whether it is a school, because if there is a colonial terrorist military barrack station around your school, if we are going for that colonial military barrack, it will be disastrous. What am I saying? I am not giving a threat. I am giving this a call for caution, a security call, a high level. La Republique will not tell you this. They will deceive you that there's enough protection. People are unable to protect themselves. Those people are using your children as a shield. And for the past 2 years, we have been so sympathetic to our children. And that is why this colonial military is entering and burning your villages. I mean, burning your homes, killing your own children, arresting and torture. Just last week, this week, over 200 civilians were arrested in Ikona. And 200 civilians, each of them, young men and women, young boys and girls of school-going age, each of them that was abducted from Ikona had to be released with a sum of at least 25,000 francs. Multiply that by 200. Over 200 that were taken. That is how La Republique used this struggle to extort money from you people. So we are doing everything, and we will keep doing everything to make sure that we send these people out who are extorting you, who are killing you, who are burning your homes, towns, and villages. So be rest assured. I am just saying, I am giving advice about schools. I have not said don't go to school, don't send your children to school, but I am saying that be wise. If there is a colonial military barrack around your school, there should be a protest for that barrack to be removed. Your principal, the headmaster, the teachers, if they are unable to do it, then they are collaborators. They are collaborating and enabling genocide in Amazonia. And anything that happens, they will be responsible. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Prophet. Yeah, I would like to make a note here that we know most of our citizens are very law abiding. They understand that most of these days are days that have no significance within our national territory. We want to tell them at this point that maybe prior to some of these days, prior to some of these so-called non-event days, they shouldn't, because we have understood that sometimes the colonialists may want to come in and pull some of them out at gunpoint and make them to maybe do some preparations and so on. They should make sure that from now onward, when we have a few days to such a day, they should be watchful. If it's possible, they should stay at home. They shouldn't give themselves to these colonialists to be used. And then secondly, for those that are helping those people to move the people across, I would like to point out that most of them are friends and relatives of the so-called elites. Those of our people that are closely working, those that are with these people in Yaoundé. Those are friends and relatives feeding from the crumbs of Yaoundé. They come out at times and try to sabotage some of the laws we pass onto our people. So we would like to tell those people, the so-called black legs, those that are working with those colonialists, that please, if they have anything, if there is anything, they have any love for La Republic, let them go across the Mungo and show that love there. For Ambazonia, there is a war that was declared. We are still at war. Thank you. Let's move on to the next story, which is the ban on food into the neighboring La Republic. I think at this point, there are still a lot of people who have not understood the significance of this ban. There are people listening to us that probably don't know the reason why we are doing what we are doing. I would like the SOS, first of all, to maybe give a narrative to tell them why this ban has been put in place. And please, if you can do it in the Queen's language and in Pidgin, for those that are back home, so that they should understand clearly what is going on, what the ban is all about. Please, we would love for you to do that. And then from there, we'll have to talk with Commander Fombat for him to tell us what the ANC is doing to reinforce the ban, if you can. Okay, over to you, SOS.
I don't think we have to labor this point. We've talked about this a lot. We've spoken about this for a couple of years, but we're bringing this into full focus. And we want the transporters to understand how dire their safety is. Some of them have dared to have military people escort them. Once you are being escorted by a military officer, that vehicle is a targeted vehicle. It becomes a police or military convoy, which is subject to attacks. Our job is to protect life, limb, and properties of our citizens. But if they want to be callously violating the rules, we will not be hesitant to destroy those vehicles. I know some people have been mad, have been angry that we destroy those vehicles, but we do not have any other options. They have other things to do. They can carry that food to Nigeria. We are going to be looking for markets in Nigeria for them. There's already a market there. But they've chosen to use the shortcut to go to La Republique. We will not accept that. We will not accept for them to bite the finger that fits them. We will enforce it with all force we can. And we want those contractors to understand that. They are risking their life, they are risking their investment. I don't know if the insurance system in Cameroon works any better. I think it's a failed system like any other system that's been in place in La Republique. So you don't want to risk your investment. So I'll put it as simply as that: we will attack those vehicles. It's for sure. We will make some people mad, but we'll make a liberated Ambazonia happy. Our job is to satisfy the largest majority of people over the few who are sacrificing the liberty of a majority of people for their own self-interest. We are not going to accept that. Wait till me are talking. It mean I say we no go take the people that where they carry chop for we country take and go for La Republique, go for Douala, go for Yaoundé. We go Chakarada Moto. We go Chakarada Moto, and we see say you get soldier with you, we attack the soldier, we fit kill you. We job not for kill you or for Chakaraya Moto, but the job na say we go prevent you from taking that chop go. So the money we don't spend for market for buy that chop, you go lost some. Now one thing that. Number two thing that say your moto or your truck where you get them for carry that moto go down, that chop go down for Yaoundé for Douala. We go burn them. We go definitely burn them. And we don't talk. Some people that vex say we don't burn moto. We know like we own people them. No, sometimes then they way we go sacrifice some few people for save a lot more people. Now, just so war day. Some people go must die for other people for live. Now so war done day. Now so it be done day all over. Not Jesus die for people so that we feel live. Now so it there for Bible. Now so it be done day. Now so they write them. And we go abide by that law. Say we go sacrifice some people them if they're not the people with a strong head. The one strong head, now then sabi. Because it is so this time, no man no get a friend. Oh. When bullet he don't come out for gun, it go your own way. You don't know whether na your brother stand for that side, na your mommy or na your pikin. If na he there for the other end, he go fall. We not there again for the work at the back for people say, oh, Mona, no do this. When I sabi say when mommy done put the bobby for pikin mop made the sock am. When he done the sock am, he buy that bobby. What did mommy they do? He slap that pikin mop, move it bobby. We no go continue for the fit people them for Douala for ya on the made get power can't kiwi. Now so when I like even so when I like when I tell we not get no reason for sit down for the help for fight this fight even I no want time. Because we come for inside this fight now because now we for country when I talk say too much than too much. So when we mammy them come up for a corner, they go for Boya, for go stand for fight this thing. All mammy them, all papa them when they there for Boya, for Fako, for all this, they get to join hand. Because one hand of it tie bundle. Now we plenty we tie bundle. And we plenty when we did so we go not enough it we pass way. That's them the way they for they calm them now nothing. Because they so now fear people. When they don't see plenty people, them they go run. They go not only after a few people. When they don't see say small people, them they catch them, go lock them. They would do them. But when they catch one man, all man come. They no go fit do nothing. They go shoot gun. They don't fit kill everybody. But at the end of the day, they will kill some people them, but a lot more people go live. And then he talks to me. Some man go stand for say, oh, I go make them shoot me. I will leave. No, we stay more and try for prevent that kind of thing to happen. And for avoid them, and for make the war maybe short. No run go for East Cameroon because peace no day. They bring that people them for Bamenda, for Victoria, for Boya, for all sides for Ambazonia. And every day, none of people who sick then die, but now people who kill them. So why we go choose for come on for fry pan, go for fire? Now which one the hot pass? Now fire or now fry pan? So more we sabi, more check sense. What would we do? Because at the end of the day, now we go kill we self because we go open, we last, put them for public. So now here we soldier they hide. Now here we soldier they hide. We detox any person where he surrender himself for DDR. We go catch your papa too. Now so you go there. Because you know go come take we gun them, go give them for people. You go pay that gun with them, take them. We no go leave them again. So the people that they surrender themselves, you feel what are you go you that one are you sabi? But when you come back with them, now you be the first person who will kill them. Because you come down for kill we, right? When you come for kill, when wash my day for post, some man can thief man come, wait till the thief man, wait till the wash night go do, no go kill the thief man. If thief man they come for can't kill you, what you do, you'll kill him. So more Jody tell this with brother than whether they run, say, oh, they don't surrender, they'll go put B uniform and all the moja kind of people them. We go set una on fire. No na say na bullet. The devil will catch una. Now kerosene and petrol go there for your skin. Just sabi that. Now so you go there. Because with this sorry heart no day for war. Sorry heart no day. Because the other man he come with, he don't throw away his spear, he don't throw away his gun, he don't throw away all these things. He go shoot now we. If you get sorry heart, now you go sabi. So you draw your own first. So that the first person where he knock the other man they down. Para na say they, none of man back for down. So we no go stand, we no go day up, may they shoot we carry we put down for down. We go fight, put the other man back for ground. And I saw we go there for this fight. And I want me all man sabi say now the thing now they try to do. Now when I divide, now when I beg we more can't help una. Even at that time, when I tell we go stay with us all day. We there we fine for you. I them fine. So I they just come now for help now. So more I know the thing say now we want for do this. We not get nothing we would get them for that side. We don't want nothing for this. We can't live here. This one not the best place anyway, but we feel manage for here. No man they find me palava for here. So we can't for helebuna. Mona understand say when you call my make help you work your farm, you know mean I say you'll go sleep you will get to work that farm with you. Now so you did for Bamenda now so you did for Victoria, now so you did for Balengi, now so you did for Cambe. So more we know we tradition them. We tradition them it been a community action, not be one man action, not be some people action. Now community, all man. And I want me all man know that. Thank you, Pa.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And over to you, Commander Fombert. We've seen the ARFs go out in action. They've been doing what they can to see that the laws that we passed are obeyed. Can you give us, but still, we know that there might be some difficulties, or there might be those that may want to do things against the will of this interim government. What are you doing from the perspective of the ANC to see that most of the loopholes that are out there are covered? Or if you cannot give if they are too technical for you to give out, if you can give a message to those that are on the home front to tell them what to expect or what to do, I think the people on the home front will be happy to hear that. Over to you, Commander Fombert.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, there is only one thing I want to remind our people, especially the ARFs on the ground. At the ANC, we have stopped conflicts around the world, around the globe. For example, and Russia. There is no economic ties between Ukraine and Russia. There is no trade between Ukraine and Russia. There is none. Does it mean that we don't have Ukrainian citizens living in Russia and vice versa? There are. Ukrainians intermarry like Amazonians and Republic had or are still intermarrying. But when it comes to trade-wise, at this time of war, all those ties have been cut off. Because Ukraine cannot be feeding Russia to kill Ukrainians. Ukraine cannot be feeding Russia to come and invade them. Vice versa. So this is a war strategy that works and has worked and that will continue to work. Our ARFs on the ground, if we allow food to continue to flow into La Republique, it means we are feeding our enemy. You are feeding them, giving them strength, boosting the economy, and life goes on. They mock at you. They mock at us. They say, look at Douala. Life is normal because our resources are entering La Republique. Our bananas, our peppers, our yams, our cocoa, our coffee, our coal, our timber, our oil, our everything is entering La Republique. And you know what? La Republique is boosting the economy, making more money, eating and growing fat to come back and kill you. So the ANC has decided, looking across the globe and studying all war and conflict situation between countries, we decided that it is advisable for us to ban all economic transactions between our enemy. Therefore, no food, no resource will need to leave Ambazonia into La Republique. Strategies that have been put in place have been and will still be communicated back to our ARS. The SOS has just said a few, has just given advice, and I'm coming to reiterate on what the SOS said and what we at the NSC are planning and are doing.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Fombat. From what it is, there are a lot of ties that will be severed at this particular time that we are at war with La Republic. We will not, as Dave Bot said, will not be feeding the enemy that will be coming to kill us. We want to give this warning. We want to give this warning to the people of Mboso in Biame, in Bui County. Let me repeat. Those that are in Mboso, we have heard that they are using that corridor, the corridor in Mboso, in Biame, LG, in Bui County, to take food across to La Republic. We are telling those that are within that area to stop it right now. They should not try it again. They shouldn't try it again. If there are any other localities which are doing likewise, which are doing the same, get it. It should be stopped immediately. They are coming in their numbers to kill us. We will not be sending food over into their territory. And nobody should aid them, should help them in any way whatsoever to take that food across. So in Biami, LGA. Those that are doing that, they should desist. They should stop immediately. Okay. I don't think we should be taking. I'll give. We'll go to the food point. Probably one of you will take the food point, and then the next person. We are having this issue. There was the other day we heard about the Fulanese again. This is a phenomenon. This is something that has been happening in the Northern Territory, in the Northern Zone. But of recent, we've heard that it is happening in the Southern Zone. La Republic has been doing something with this particular group of people, which of course is not beneficial, is not beneficial to our people. They are there, they are causing a lot of havoc, which at this point, I think the Ambazonian people need to know. They need to be educated. For those that are in other parts, probably not aware of what is happening, I think it's time we, from the military wing or from the defense, we let the people know and educate them, so that if such a case should arise in their own localities, they'll know what to do. So I'll be handing over the microphone. SOS, please, the issue is coming into our territory and all what the atrocities. I would like you to maybe give a word, talk to our people, what is happening. Maybe give them the explanation and maybe tell them what they should expect.
What's really happening is a typical La Republic divide and conquer. They are trying to pit the Fulanese against other communities to make it seem like it's a sectarian kind of war that's being fought. This is a war of liberation. This is a war of neocolonialism that's being fought in Amazonia. But La Republic is making it seem like we are trying to persecute our Muslim brothers. The Fulanese have lived in Amazonia for hundreds of years, like any other community in that in Amazonia. They are citizens of Amazonia. They are being used to target people who are fighting for liberation. And we want to inform the Fulani communities, be it in Ndonga Mantum, be it in Menchum, or recently in Tico, that we will not accept such a treatment. We will not accept another community to go in and attack another community for no apparent reason. If they need grazing land, that's something that could be discussed within that community. But we are calling on the Fulani leaders to call their war dogs back to their camps. Otherwise, it will be all-out open war against the Fulanis. We will sometimes leave La Republique. That's the expectation they want us to do, to fight against each other so that they can go about doing what they are doing. We want that community to think twice what's going on, because their livelihood is based on cattle. If they have to destroy what our livelihoods depend on, being sales of crops, cash crop, or fruit material products, we will eventually go after their same cattle. We will destroy their cattle. And we've talked about this a couple of times, but we've tried to hold people at bay not to execute this kind of stuff. But eventually, as I said, there will come a time when we will not be able to hold the avalanche of anger of our people. So we are letting them to understand, for those who understand in this community, that the Ambazonian people, we will tear ourselves apart. And apparently, who is going to be the winner? La Republique, who does not have neither of our interests. What has La Republique done for the Fulanis for the past 60 years that they've known we've had a community with them? What have they done for them? Nothing. What will they do for them? Nothing. All they will do for them is to create conditions where their demise, they will be killed for their own interest. So we are asking the community of Fulanis in all over Ambazonia to be mindful that they are citizens of this community. They will not go anywhere. They will not go to Nigeria. They think that they have lineage in Nigeria. They may move to Nigeria. But Nigeria is not as stable. All this area of La Republique is all sinking sand for them. Let's understand this. We have to make this knowledge to them that their place is in Ambazonia, or if they choose not to live in Ambazonia, that's their choice. They can live peacefully. We don't take prisoners in Ambazonia. And we are not going to continue accepting that they will come in and kill the people in our community, destroy their food crop and livelihood, and go back home safely. Safely is not what we are going to accept anymore for them. So far, for their safety as a person and the safety of their animals. It's easy. Those animals can be driven down the valley and all those animals will die or have broken limbs, and they will not do nothing with them. Or they could be shot dead. We are asking these people to be honest to themselves. Who are they with? And what do they stand to gain? They've not gained anything in 60 years, in 61 years. They're not going to gain anything in the next 61 years. So why flirt around with the devil? The devil has no friends. The head of the devil is he's a lion. When has a lion had a friend in the bush? Pobia does not have a friend. So let them not try to make alliances with Pobia, because at the end of the day, they will be devoured. The lion does not have a friend. And he tells them that he's an lion, a lion man. Lions don't have friends from what we know. So people should understand that and keep to themselves that in our community, we've always, in every single community, even in my home, my village, we deal with the Fulanis. Even when you have pasture, the farmers and graziers problems, those things are settled in the community. We are not going to draw swords at each other. We are not going to be forced to draw swords at each other. But if our members of our community permit themselves to be used to destroy other people, well, we will just have to destroy that. To kill cancer, sometimes you have to give them really rough medicine. And sometimes that medicine is a poison that kills them too. So we will have to use strong medicine. We will have to use really strong medicine. We will not accept any internal opposition as to what we do. All this internal, it's just banditry. It's just internal terrorism of our people. We will not accept it. And we want to let them know that. And we have to make them understand in no unequivocal terms that this is a one-time forever thing. It will not happen again. I'm telling my people, it will not happen again. If that happens, we're going to take we'll give them really strong medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, SOS. I don't know if our technical bench has a video of the atrocities they committed recently at Intico. If they have that video, please, we'd like them to put up that video where they were burning the cash crops. We would like to let our people know that the incursion of these people into our properties, and our living environment has been very, very brutal. This Fulanis, like it has happened in Menchum, has happened in Dongamantum, where they have gone as far as killing our innocent civilians. Now they are in Tiko, they are in Likumba, doing what they are doing. Okay, let's watch. Oh no.
Ambe, no baka. Ha. Ambe, no baka mweke bobia no asimi na sengo no. Koku, yes. I tell you.
Onto our private property or where our people are living has been very brutal. And up to this point, our people has been taking it very peacefully. They've not been fighting back. It does not mean that they are cowards. It doesn't mean our people cannot fight back. They can fight back. But we're keeping our cool for now. Comrade Fombert, yeah, can you throw in some more light on what happened in the Kumba place?
Yeah, first of all, I want to make a correction. The video that we just saw on the screen, that is in Jikwa, that is La Republique burns in Jikwa yesterday, the 17th of February 2022. So let the international community, the lukewarm so-called international community, people who would turn a blind eye, not that they are blind, they are not blind, they can see, and they celebrate, they pop champagnes in their homes as our people face scorched earth policies implemented by France, passed on to La République du Cameroon to use on our people, on our innocent people. These are some of the consequences that these so-called leaders of the West, they pretend like nothing is happening to the issues we're supposed to talk. Mbororo atrocities that have been committed in Amazonia is sponsored by La Republic because it has been proven on camera. In 2019, I think 2019, 2020, in Boyo, the colonial terrorist thugs in uniform who call themselves also protect. They saw an agitated group of Fulanis and they encouraged them. They were even interviewing them on their smartphones, recording and asking them what is happening. They say, oh, our restoration forces have done that. And those people, what do you want to do now? Oh, we want to go and look for them. They were branding this everywhere, and this military were accompanying them. You know, this is a clear example. These people who are acting the so-called Fulanis are a group from La Republique, sponsored by the Tanganyis. This is a clear example. And these people, they have not been brainwashed. It is not brainwash. It is money that they have used to rob them. And so they will everything they will kill because they want to satisfy their paymasters. It is not brainwash. And the Mbororo community should know that they have lived in Ambazonia for donkey years. There is no Mbororo grazing anywhere in La Republic. There is no cattle ranching in La Republic. There is nowhere that I know of, except somewhere like Ebolowas and things like that. But 80% of cattle ranching or cattle rearing is in Ambazonia. Never issues with the people. We have always shared land, especially if you go to the North Zone, they have shared space. We have always lived like brothers and sisters in the same communities and no issues with their grazing. Out of a sudden, this one has come in. So the Muslim leadership, it is their responsibility to call these their young men who are prepared to die because of 10,000 francs, because of 50,000 francs, or whatsoever. In this ANSC, we are frowning, like the SOS said, we are frowning on these acts that are perpetrated by these Fulanis or these Mboro people. We are frowning. The incident in Likumba, in Tiko, the Fulani community in Tiko should address that. The Fulani community in Victoria, in Fako, should address that. Because if the ARFs want to go after those points, it will be vigorous, without any emotion, without any sentiment. You cannot come into our communities and you are burning cash crops. You are burning food that has been harvested from the farms. Given the fact that we are passing through difficult and very hard times, our people are merely surviving and managing to survive. You come in their communities, you burn down their crops, you burn down their food stuff. Who does that? For what reason? What was the purpose? And what do they plan to achieve? I think the ANSC, we have discussed about this. There is discussion that is still going on this, and we will move vigorously to implement the decision. If care is not taken, if the Muslim community do not call these rascals, these are thugs, these are armed robbers that are parading in Ambazonia, causing atrocity, helping La Republic to kill our civilians. Let this message go as clear and as wide as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commander. Thank you, Commander Combat. Yeah, we are reiterating the incursion. These people are being emboldened by the talks in Yaoundé. They are using these people to attack our people. They are using the Fulanis to attack our people. Whatever they are doing, they should be very careful. Our people have been living, we've been coexisting with them. I will continue to do that, provided they don't exceed certain boundaries. We will want them to stay on their side. You can't come to Tiko, taking your, maybe because you're trying to take, you've been using that route to take your cattle, maybe to Douala. Maybe you feel that you want to take certain rights, you want to take on certain rights, and maybe trample on the rights of our own people. You bring your cattle, you rear them right into our backyards. When our people complain, you go in and destroy their cash crops, their livelihood. That is very, very, very unacceptable. It will not happen. We will not take that. We want them to understand. Our people they have taken enough of this. We are in a state of war. We don't want any problems with them. Please. Let's go to the next point. I'll go back with you, Commander Fombat. We saw there was an incident in a corner whereby, as you talked a little bit, you've talked a little bit on it. Let's just we just needed to elaborate more on that, on what happened with our mothers how they went over to what happened to our mothers, what happened there before the boys were taken over. Some of our brothers from there were taken to Boya, the whole procedure and how they were brought back. So can you let the Ambazonian people, can you throw more light on that before we move on to the next point, please? You're muted. Okay.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, on the 10th, over the police lockdown, RFs they launched an attack over 13 spots. La Republic talks because they could not fight, they could not face the boys and the girls on the ground. What they do best is go into communities and pick off innocent civilians. That is all what they do. Because when they hear that, oh, the restoration forces are east, they will go west. If they hear that they are west, they will not. Sometimes they don't even go. They can't go because they are not courageous enough, because they are scared, and they will only wait and just surprise people in their communities and make sure they adopt, because it is not an arrest. If you come to arrest somebody, you should have a warrant of arrest. They come in and adopt as usual, transfer them to Boya. And what I want us to be clear on what they plan to achieve. There are two things here they plan to achieve. One, they plan to extort money, which they did behind closed doors in their sales. And then they plan also to use as a propaganda. You know, La Republique, they are very good in propaganda. They know how to do propaganda, to deceive the international community, to pass a message that does not exist, to pass a message that what they do behind the scene is the opposite. What did they do? They wanted our mothers to rally in Boya and then make a protest so that they will say, they will tell the international community, see, we are, as they want to put it. Protest is free. Everyone can protest. And when they protest, if they see that they have a genuine reason for the protest, they will react to the protest. What did they do? They released majority of those who are a tool that they use to deceive the international community. But behind the scene, they had already collected their money. Everyone of those who were arrested had to pay a minimum of 25 colonial CFA. That's what they had to pay. At least could not afford. Some paid 50,000, some paid 100,000, some paid 100 above. So that is exactly what happened. Like I said, they had two agendas behind the arrest. One, extortion, and two, to send a propaganda message that protest is allowed in our country. That they can react to the outcry of the people. That is why some of those people were released. And unfortunately, our mothers went out where they were happy. They were happy like La Republique is doing. La Republique is not doing a favor. The Republique has directly extorted money from you. Then you have been in Boya in the first place. If you ask them why were they arrested, they have no reason to give you why they arrested your children. There was no reason. They just come in there at random and just adopt people. That's what they do. And apart from that, what else? Because they cannot fight. They cannot fight the restoration forces. They can't. That is proven beyond doubt. These people don't have all they know to do is it. That is it. That is what they do. Thank you, Commander.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Commander. Yeah, we from the defense bench would like to first of all salute the courage. We know that La Republic uses this policy of extortion. They always extort money from our vulnerable civilians. What they did is wrong. They are not welcome on our territory. They should leave our territory. But at this point, we'll salute the courage of those mothers that went out there and tried to secure the safety of our younger brothers that we picked up by these demons. They did all they could. We salute that courage and we thank them for going out there. Had it been the state, probably the story would have been different. Our younger ones would have been languishing in that jail. We want others across the territory to emulate, to make sure that in the future they copy such examples. It's a numbers game. Go out there in the numbers. There is nothing they'll be able to do us. Okay. I think we saw there was a video that was just played, and thank you, Commander Format, for making that correction about the home that was burnt in Jikwa. There are several homes that have been burnt across our territory, the territory of Ambazonia. When these people come in, when they are kicked in the butt by our forces, they have nothing else. They turn and vent their anger on private property. We've seen them on several. We've seen that go on in several counties. Yeah, this is the video. Thank you for bringing it up again. We want our SOS to briefly to give us to look at the video, analyze it, and tell the Ambazonian people what is going on, what the public military, what they are up to each time they go into a community when we see videos like this. SOS Zama, the microphone is yours.
I think SOS Zama is not on set. You guys should he says we should conclude. Perhaps you want to round up? We've taken more than 90 minutes already.
Oh, really? Okay. Is Commander Format still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Can you throw in some light on that video, please?
Yeah, you know that is exactly one of the reasons we are saying that we need to ban all economic transactions with that public. We don't need to feed these people. We don't need our food to move from our territory into the Republic to Cameroon. That is not necessary. We don't need that. Our people need to understand when we say we are not feeding the enemy, those are some of the many reasons, the thousands of reasons, the million of reasons why we are saying that we cannot feed these people. Because if they don't have that, they will not. They cannot fight. And just like I said, they are not bold enough. They are cowards. And they are doing exactly what cowards do. Cowards can only go after innocent. That is an example of a coward. All these Bulu, Betty, Francophone people are all lash. They call them in French, les lâches. They are cowards. They are scared. They don't have the balls. They don't have the power. They don't have the courage to take the bull by the horn. Our boys and our girls are showing them fire on the ground, exploding everywhere, damaging their so-called armor cars, those toys that were ordered from China. They cannot face them. They can only go after innocent civilians, burn homes, burn people alive in their homes, kill babies, rape women, rape our mothers and our girls. That is what they can do, extort from our community, loot from our people. This is all what they can do. There's nothing else. Apart from that, there's nothing like a lot of them, they are coming into our territory because they find it as another means to make ends meet. And how are they going to make ends meet? When they come into a community,
They start, some of them just come and open fire on the air and then disperse everybody, maybe from a market square. They have the liberty to jump into that market, loot the market, loot the shops, loot homes, carry valuable items, money. That is what they do. And kill our animals and take them to their barracks. That is what La Republique is capable of doing. Apart from that, they don't have the ball, they don't have the power, they don't have the courage to face the boys on the bush. The boys in the bushes, they don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the video we just, let me just try a little bit. The video we just saw was a home in Jikwa. That was a civilian, an innocent civilian that has lost his property. We have countless civilians like that across the territory. We have them in Menchum, we have them in Dongamantum, we have them in Ngokitunjia, we have them in Bui. Houses have been burnt down for no reason, just because they can't fight a war. They bent their anger on innocent civilians. All the while, with the international community watching, nobody's doing anything about it. But as we said, they brought this war upon us. We'll fight it by ourselves. The people, you had to think, the people of, we from the ANC and this government, we are actually sending our hearts out to those people, those that have been affected, and telling them that they should hold on, they should hang on there. But together we'll make it. And the last point which we want to talk on, let's just be brief on this, Commander Fombat, because I think we don't have enough time. We heard from the listing, from the bench, that we don't have enough time again. The issue of grandpa of Awing surrendering to the DDR. We had SOS Zama did throw a little bit of light on that. I'll want to, at this point, maybe a little bit, just elaborate just for about a minute or two so that we can round up and leave this set, please.
Yes, Grandpa has never been a genuine fighter for Amazonia. That is a fact. Grandpa has always collaborated with La Republique to kill the genuine fighters. That is factual. There are a lot of other incidents that Grandpa has done. Grandpa has helped La Republique to kill fighters. He has worked with La Republique. Target our people, target our civilians, kill funds. Grandpa of Awing. Grandpa of Santa Awing. I'm not talking of Grandpa, but there are two grandpas. There are about 5 grandpas in Amazonia. I'm talking of the grandpa that surrendered himself to the colonial head boy in Bamenda. That grandpa is grandpa of Santa in Awing. So that grandpa, anybody out there who thinks grandpa has been a fighter for Amazonia, grandpa has never fought this war. Never. Grandpa has been building his homes. His wife has been moving and doing business. They buy and sell. Grandpa has led La Republique to kill our fighters, set our fighters up. Unfortunately, some of them are coming out now to give testimonies. Some of them are coming out now to give testimonies. Because of the lack of time, I think just have to end. I will just have to brief it here for now, and then probably we'll expand more in the next show. Because this
yeah, just a last word from you, a closing remark, please.
Yeah. Come again?
Okay. Just a closing remark, your last word from you before we go.
Yeah, what I will just tell our people, remember on Saturday the 25th, the interim government has announced another round of drafts. This draft is very important. We are pleading. This is not even a question. We are not even supposed to be pleading. Because this war that was declared, Ambazonians did not declare. We did not declare the war. The war was declared on you. Be whether you are who provided You talk like I talk. You are from that part of the territory I am from. You are an Amazonian. It will declare on you. Your homes are being burned. Your people are being killed. Wherever you are, you think that you are in your comfort zone. You are not. So you may pretend that what is happening there does not concern me. It does concern you. Because your communities are being razed down to ashes. Your parents, your friends are running away into another country. We have thousands of people who are refugees. We have thousands who are in jails. Ask La Republic what is their crime. It is your war. You must be man enough. You must be man enough. Come in and give your support. The boys and the girls and the men on the ground are willing to face the enemy, to kick La Republic out. And they can only kick La Republic out with your contribution. We are honest contribution. We are not asking you to come and give 10,000 or give more than you can give. No. Come in there, even if it is $100, it can help. The strategies that we are using now, it means that $100 can kill 1,000 La Republic terrorists. $100. Just come in, give your $100. Amazonian people, let us come in on the 25th. I'll be there with my own draft to draft. Come and together let's meet homeland. And don't forget, lack of time, tomorrow I will be live on my Facebook page. We have managed to retrieve that Facebook page. I will be live on my Facebook page, and there is a lot more that I will tell Amazonian people on there. Don't forget, tomorrow Sunday 18, is it 19 at 2 p.m. Amber time. Rendezvous. See you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commander Fombat. Yeah, before I go, I just want to reiterate what Commander Fombat just said. A lot of people are confusing the grandpa of Bali for the grandpa of Awing. The two are not to be confused. Grandpa that surrendered is grandpa of Awing, not grandpa of Bali. And from all indications from our investigations, and it is something we've been following up for quite some time. Grandpa of Awing, as all the other speakers have said, he's not been a fighter. He had not been a fighter. He's been a sellout. And he had been the person that has been selling out our civilians and our fighters. A lot of our civilians have been killed. A lot of civilians and fighters have been killed because of his activities, what he's been doing in Awing. He has never been out there. He's never gone out there to fight the enemy. All what he does, he sells out our positions, points at our civilians whose houses are burnt or who are shot and killed. We know that the DTR is not a center for reformation. Never. It has never been. What they do is they keep these people, they keep these boys there, they use them to come back to track our civilians or to kill our civilians or track and kill our fighters. We will not be surprised to see that grandpa will be coming back in the days ahead. I mean grandpa of Awing. Because as we say, he is not a grandpa of Bali. He will be coming back. At this point, the ANC will tell you people, if any ARF, if you have one shot left, and if you can, because he'll be coming probably in military uniform, knowing that he is a risk to our civilians. He is a risk, as he has always been. Please, if you have one just left, take him out. We'll not think twice about that. So at this point, we would like to thank our panelists. Pastor Commando, thank you so much. Paddy, we thank you. And we want to thank our fellow viewers. We have a rendezvous for next week again. So, and before I go, next week we'll look at the issue of we'll talk on this, the petrol stations, particularly Total, because we know they are not there, but we want to reiterate, those are French companies, or some of these parastatals. We don't want them. We don't want our people dealing with those things. We'll talk on that next week. So, for those that have been faithful, those have been sitting and watching our programs, we want to thank you all, and we say we'll hope to see you again next week.
IG defense briefing. Rebranded and reinvigorated. Fire for fire.
Good day, fellow Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. Today, na Saturday, 18th of February 2023. I come this morning. Now, when I begin Gabonese, I come live from home front. I want to salute all our brave fighters, our field masters, generals, commanders, colonels, and foot soldiers who they fight so hard for defend Ambazonia from the house of these criminals. When Mr. Paul Biya Bilvondo, Bartholomew, Hitler, the terrorists, it is send them for kill or picking them, rape or picking them on our houses inside Ambazonia. And they come this morning where we don't see some video where they circulate on social media from Equinox television where a certain fighter they call himself a grandpa for a win. It is talk for inside DDR. Fellow Ambazonia, make the one of being a strange thing for we Ambazonia. We don't see all this mafia and all this cabal and the network of French Cameroon and the civilian cabal when they be declared war on our people. We don't remember send Nambere and all the criminals where they be plan them among we where they go for DDR and some of them they don't run away from DDR and so they find means for run means in a day. Fellow Ambazonians, when I see this very grandpa from Awing, where he don't go give himself for DDR, he will then an agent among we the fighters where he walk. Now for make them the key people that are picking them for inside this struggle. When I remember what General A4, Queen Mother, and some other fighters they will be murdered for inside La Republic, where they want to carry on a deadly mission for that area. When this same grandpa, he will send them for La Republic, where it is show say grandpa, he will then an agent inside we as we fight for independence for Saudi Cameroon. So fellow Ambazonians, I come this morning. I want to assure our population. I want to assure Ambazonians, and I tell the international communities that Saudi Cameroon is not for sale, and Saudi Cameroon is a state where we fight a base. Now our historical fact, I must fight until one man standing, nothing more, nothing less. We don't give French Cameroon any second chance as we don't carry gun for fight against our enemy. Now Mr. Pobe declare war on Ambazonians. We as Saudi Cameroonians, Ambazonians, will defend ourselves. I will defend our national territory. So fellow Ambazonians, make we know in the days of apartheid when Nelson Mandela he been there for prison for 27 years. There were some black South Africans where they be happy with the apartheid regime. Those were the agents where they work for the apartheid regime. The same for Taliban. When I say when Taliban they fight for their right for 21 years. After America withdraw its troops, so many Talibans, about 50,000, they evacuate Afghanistan and surround them. They be executed because they been a black leg behind the American government for killing the Talibans. So Ambazonians, inside Saudi Cameroon of independence, we get so many of those people where they are around we, where they are so intelligent and they are happy with the Yaoundé regime for the key are picking them. So if we see the kind of thing when it happened, French Cameroon they do it best and they do it best with the agent them for keep Saudi Cameroon in slavery. But I want to tell Yaoundé, say the days ahead are deadly, and Saudi Cameroonians we go fight until one man standing. No way. When La Republic they go take back this country. For that one, and they assure our people. When I see how they kill Martinez Zogo, that journalist from the Betty Bulu Fang, when I say young people them blog road, when I say they don't arrest so many top government officials, put them for prison. According to them, now window dressing. Fellow Ambazonians, they kill our own picking for here. Wazizi from Munya, they bury him for mass grave. French Cameroon, they don't care. Even the president for Southern Cameroon, or they call say Anglophone journalist, Kamasech, they poison you for that very murder for Wazizi. When I say Saudi Cameroonians, we not get no value. We not get no value for French Cameroon. They regard we like second-class citizens. According to them, they own this land. But God forbid, say these demons will continue anything to do with them. So make you know, say what you have about grandpa for a win. Like a plan act for some of them, where they decide, say they want want work with the enemy. But Saudi Cameroon is here to stay. Ambazonia must be liberated. Nothing more, nothing less. I advise all Ambazonians, make una stay resolute, make una move resist. We go resist until one man standing. Make una know say Saudi Cameroon independent. It be based na for historical fact. I will fight na genuine fight. So shake in no day. Ambazonia must be liberated. All we all sit there for bush. We will fight for free Saudi Cameroon. We all understand our history. We know our right, and we understand. Say even at 100 years, Saudi Cameroon will be liberated. Okara Bilai, the master planner behind the killing of Wazizi, it looks around Saudi Cameroon. It kill our picking them on daily basis. No one day, La Republic them, all the citizens, they don't question why they kill Ambazonians. But we know say they plan with the plan. So Ambazonians, we stay resolute, we remain safe. If they announce lockdown or they announce any ghost towns, make we respect our ghost towns and our lockdowns. Please, fellow Ambazonians, because French Cameroon, it go discard like soldiers, like we, the Ambazonian freedom fighters. It can kill una for tackling like terrorists according to French Cameroon. Ambazonians, now Saudi Cameroon is there for war. You must be vigilant. You must understand, and you must take care for your own life. If anything come out like a ghost town or lockdown, make una respect them so that una life it go be safe from the hands of French Cameroon terrorist militaries. The days ahead are deadly. Make una respect our Monday's lockdown when it's time for the symbol for our liberation struggle. We must reach Boya, Cameroon, Canson, Paul Bia Bill von the Bartholomew. If we confess at the Mu Ibrahim conference, so they don't try for assimilate we in our work because our identity, our cultural heritage. Fellow Ambazonians, now the time is for all we for understand. Say French Cameroon is here to kill us and take our land, our resources. Make we stay strong and we stay safe. Surely the struggle. May God bless Ambazonia.
We the people